Happy New Year, everyone. Happy Epiphany. I've turned a little, on the prayer table we've got, we've got this little nativity, which is actually made from olive wood from Palestine, and the Magi are blocked by the wall that now surrounds Bethlehem. The family are inside, and the Magi, who we'll be talking about today, are on the outside. So for those of us in church, the service is on the white sheet with the red writing. It says Holy Communion, but we'll just skip the holy bit. So please, if you're at home, we're using the Matthew reading, Matthew 2, 1 to 12. And so let's make a gentle start. For those of you who don't know me or have forgotten, I'm Rose. My role here is lay worship leader for the Team Parish of St Luke in the City. And we're coming live to you from St Bride's today. And we're not going to sing. We're not going to inflict that on anyone. So our opening responses. Light looked down and saw darkness. I will go there, said light. Peace looked down and saw war. I will go there, said peace. Love looked down and saw hate. I will go there, said love. So he, the Lord of light, the Prince of peace, the King of love, came down and crept in beside us. Together. God of stable stars and surprises, of light and hope and new life, open our eyes and hearts to your presence in our world. Open us to your grace, that we might hear again the song of the angels, and respond with a song in our hearts and in our lives. Amen. Reading, please, Mary.
The visit of the wise men. In the time of King Herod, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem, asking, "Where is the child who was born King of the Jews? For we observed his star at its rising, and have come to pay him homage." When King Herod heard this, he was frightened, and all Jerusalem with him. And calling together all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Messiah was to be born. They told him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for so it has been written by the prophet. And you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For from you shall come a ruler who is to shepherd my people Israel." Then Herod secretly called for the wise men and learned from them the exact time when the star had appeared. Then he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, "Go and search diligently for the child, and when you have found him, bring me word, so that I may also go and pay him homage." When they had heard the king, they set out, and there ahead of them went the star that they had seen at its rising, until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw that star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy. On entering the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother, and they knelt down and paid him homage. Then, opening their treasure chests, they offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they left for their own country by another road. Welcome. Mask on, mask off.
In January here at St Bride's we're doing a series on wisdom. So we start today with the wise men, or Magi. It's a story I know I, and I'm sure many of you, have read and reflected on every year for as long as I can remember. Some of us might even have acted the parts of the wise men in a nativity play. The Magi come from the east. They've seen a star that they believe signifies a royal birth. So they prepare some presents for a royal baby and set off. And they end up in Jerusalem, because where else would they find a royal baby except in the palace? But this baby isn't in the palace. Now, I don't know about you, but over the last few years, about this time, just before Christmas and just over this time, I've been seeing a cartoon of wise women. So the wise men have left, and these wise women turn up, and they've got things like nappies, baby clothes, and a casserole. They're wise presents, they're practical. I have a wise present. If you've known me for more than 5 minutes, you'll know that of my fandoms, the oldest, and probably the one that I'll die with, is Narnia. And for my significant birthday last year, my son bought me this. Don't know if you'll be able to see online. But it's a fleecy blanket, and it's printed with the map of Narnia. And it just hits that sweet spot between the practical and the geeky. It's an absolutely perfect wise present for me. So, over to you. What wise presents have you received over the years?
I got a cycle trainer, so I'm going to use all the streets.
A cycle trainer. Oh, like the thing you sit at home and pedal while you're watching the telly. Yeah? Very wise. Okay. But what's the point of these wise women? Why are they necessary? Well, the implication of this cartoon, for me, is that the wise men have brought foolish presents. What use are gold, frankincense and myrrh to a newborn baby and his parents? They can't eat them or wear them. What good are they? I have a foolish present. My wise son, when he was ordering me this fleecy blanket, foolishly ordered a second. So I have 2 fleecy blankets with the map of Narnia on. It's surplus to requirements. Don't know what fell off there. So, any foolish presents, things that people thought were a good idea and actually weren't.
Well, I can remember the Christmas, the insulting present that my husband gave me was the epilator. I made him take it back.
What's it costing you?
I scrapped it in. He thought he was being clever because he knew I didn't have one.
Don't know if you caught that.
Women know there's a reason for that.
Yeah. I don't know if you caught that at home. Leslie was bought an epilator by her husband. Yeah, dropping some heavy hits there.
A very unpleasant way of getting hairs out of it. It rips them out instead of shaving them off or waxing them. It literally rips them out slowly. Somebody thought it would be a good idea for me. I don't think so.
But are the gifts of the wise men meant to be wise? My understanding of them is that they're symbolic. Gold for kingship, frankincense for godhood, myrrh for death. Waste weighty, if not actually horrific presents for a baby, wherever they were born. But I think my extra blanket gives a clue to another meaning. It may seem surplus to requirements, but there are days when actually I'm glad of having 2 blankets. And what I actually do is I have one upstairs and one downstairs. So there's only one available at a time. The gifts of the Magi are over the top. They're extravagant, abundant, you might say, abundance of blankets. For a baby, even one born in a palace. And for me, they demonstrate God's abundance. God has given us an abundant world, but the dominant economic theory we follow is one of scarcity, as if there isn't enough for everyone. So it's up to each individual to grab what they can for themselves. But the Magi and the wise women show us that there is more than enough when we share what we have. So perhaps the real wisdom in this story, and in the cartoon itself, is that we should seek out the abundance in our own lives and then share it as widely and as wisely as we can. So we'll move into our time of prayer. We have candles on the table. If anyone would like to come and light one and say their prayer out loud, then please do. And please add yours into the comments. But if you would just want to light a candle and keep it quiet and silent between you and God, then that's fine. Give thanks for those of us gathered here today. We may not be abundant in numbers, but we're abundant in love.
Offer a prayer for all those who didn't make it to 2022 and all those that have suffered as a result. So we join in the words of the Lord's Prayer, which is at the bottom of the page. As our Saviour taught us, so we pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Just going to light a candle for the prayers that have been added online.
So when the song of the angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when kings and shepherds are back home, the work of Christmas begins. To find the lost and heal the broken, to feed the hungry and release the captive, to build a community of peace and to make music in the heart. Amen. So, sorry if you blinked you'd have missed the service, but may the eagerness of the shepherds, the joy of the angels, and the peace of the Christ child be with us this Christmas and Epiphany and evermore. Amen. So let us go in peace to love and serve the Lord. In the name of Christ. Amen. Thank you for joining us online. Hope you got something out of it. Oh, seven of you.